Okay,
Welcome to episode 2.
Welcome to episode 2. So the whole season is going to come out sometime around the end of October, beginning of November. So currently, right now, it's about 1,000 degrees outside. They're calling it fall, but it is not fall.
So hot.
It is still like second summer, but it's pumpkin spice season at the old Dunk. DD, you can still sponsor us if you're interested. So it's essentially fall. So that means it's Christmas, and that means I'm going to be putting our Christmas tree up. Just so you know, babe. So you're aware it's happening.
Right. Yeah, that'll work out really well.
Mariah Carey is she's thawing from her Christmas icicle.
So when you say that you're putting up the Christmas tree, you're saying I'm putting up the Christmas. Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you that's happening.
That's sorry.
Go ahead and lose my number before, so you don't have to ask for help.
You don't own a truck, right? I got it.
So
nice.
unfestive right now.
Hey, I just want to point out we have these really cool mugs.
Oh, I know. Yes, yeah. We should definitely show those off. Here we go. We got some branded material. We got some merch. You know,
check that out.
Maybe we'll do some giveaways on the old pod here someday. But, yeah, maybe.
I'll take it. I'll take the mug, but mostly what's in it.
Yeah. I want all the merch.
The merch. All right.
There's a 2% discount on everything.
I love it.
So.
With real life stories on display, gifts and talents in every way, building up a community. Have you had your 2% today?
Welcome to episode 2 of the We Are the 2% podcast. You guys got to hear from Pastor Mitch last week. That one was a fun one. I'm really excited this week for our guest. Going to introduce him in just a second here, but you all probably know him as the worship leader here at Redeemer City Church. But a few things I didn't know until we started to get to know him better. He is a musical beast. He plays like 50 instruments, something like that. He has got a studio album out, which we're going to hear about a little bit later, and like a ton more singles. So they're out there. We're going to give you guys the links and stuff, and we're going to post them on this video. He is single and ready to mingle, ladies. He is also a terrible rememberer of names. One of the reasons we're doing this podcast is for community and for us to all get to know each other. So if you see him out there, out and about, say your name like 5 times, and then it'll click.
Yep.
But he knows this. I'm not saying anything he doesn't know. But on a more serious note, just an absolute true heart of worship, a very gracious and caring leader, all around great guy. Our guest, Peterson Jean-Marie. Did I say that right?
You said it perfectly. Okay. That's right. Yes.
Yay.
With the right emphasis.
Yeah, everything. You know, like I always get the Jean-Marie before the Peterson. So like attending school growing up, they always thought I was a girl because they were looking for a Jean Marie.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm here. And they're like, you're a boy. Yes, I am. I know. Thank you.
Don't judge.
Exactly. It's because Peterson's my first name.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So I guess the first segment that we do is we call it story time, but really it's just a chance to get to know you, right?
Okay.
And have you tell us more about yourself so that the folks in the congregation can get to know you, and whoever listens to this podcast, wherever you get them, but just to get to know you better. So I guess let's start. Just tell us more about yourself, whatever you want to tell us.
Sure. I like long walks on the beach and sunsets. I don't know. One thing I always say to people when they're like, well, tell us about yourself. I'm like, I'm just a regular guy. And they're like, what does that mean? I'm just a regular guy. I don't know what else to say. Sports fanatic. I played soccer, was very terrible at it. I play ultimate frisbee. That's like, I've done leagues in that.
Oh, cool.
I write music. I think everybody already knows that part.
While playing ultimate frisbee?
No, but that's definitely something I want to try.
First time for everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I am a big foodie. I love food. For those who don't know, I'm Haitian, so like Haitian cuisine is like top tier in my life right now. You know, Caribbean cuisine in general.
I second that because so we had a worship night at our worship afternoon at our house, and Petey, you brought So what was the name of that dish?
It is called griot.
Griot.
Griot. It is
And I
fried
butchered
pork,
that, but...
and he destroyed it.
Oh yeah, but anyway, that's the, like that. I mean, for anybody who's vegetarian or vegan, I'm sorry, but when you put
You're lost.
that pork in your mouth, it just melted.
It was good. Okay, everyone calm down.
So good.
So it was awesome. So Haitian food by far, or Haitian/Caribbean food in general, top notch.
It was.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Big foodie. I love to laugh. I'm a goofball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running around. I'm a big kid, basically. That's me.
I love that. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, all right. Couple things there I learned. A couple new things. So let's go to how did you hear about Redeemer and how did you get involved? I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Story.
So a good friend of mine who I've known for next year will be 20 years. His name is Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Hilaire. He was involved with V3. He was doing worship on chapel nights and stuff like that. He invited me. And I visited a couple times, and then he wanted to see if I wanted to get involved with V3. So I was assisting with worship, helping different worship nights, just playing piano or singing every now and then. And the first person I met that reached out to talk about Redeemer was Jerome, Pastor Jerome.
Okay. We love Jerome.
And he came up to me with a deep voice and was like, Peterson. And I was like, what did I do?
Lord?
What did I do? I thought I was in trouble. He's like, I need to talk to you for a second. I was like, oh, goodness. And he talked about Redeemer, and he said, think about it. What do you say? And I'll say, I'll pray about it. And I actually visited one time. It was in November. I visited one service. And this giant of a man walked up to me and already knew who I was. And I was like, who are you? And it was Pastor Mitch.
Okay.
I was like, you're the pastor.
Very tall.
He is so close to God. It's just, okay. So
how's the Tower of Babel?
Right?
Oh, no.
So, and there, I just a lot of praying and thinking about it. I know Zach and I had a conversation about it as well. And then right around December, I reached out to Zach and I said, you know what? Let's do it.
Wow.
I'd love to get involved. And I remember just my first Sunday, like I came in rehearsal. It was February. I came in rehearsal, met some of the team members, and it was just like that. We were already ready for Sunday, and
wow.
I showed up on a Sunday, and they're like, "Who is this random person? That's the new." Like there were no announcements or anything like that. So
okay.
I don't know if it was a trial run or something like that. I guess I did good because I'm still here.
Yeah.
So I just came in and I just led worship. I was like, let's just worship, and it was really cool to just on the first day, the first rehearsal, I'm already connecting with the group, and I'm just like, all right, these guys are awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's basically all she wrote.
That's cool. I did not know that. I love how God put, Jerome in that place that night.
Yeah.
To see you and to meet you, and then that act of boldness to just go, Petey, we need you.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so true.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
I remember I had done one of the V3 worship nights, and there was a couple of times where we had done it together.
Yep.
But there was always like a revolving door of a certain amount of people. Like there were certain people that did it all the time, but then there was some that kind of were coming in and out.
Yeah.
And full confession, I'm terrible with names too. So we're in the same boat together that we don't remember the name of the boat of. So, so I didn't remember your name either. I just remembered, this guy's got a guitar, but he doesn't even need to use it because he just sings really well.
Yeah.
And I like the great thing about V3 is that Zach and Jesse and them were always really good at bringing people in of the same heart. So every time we would worship together, and we would never have known each other or ever played with each other before, but then we get together with like this unified sound, and it becomes supernatural. And so everybody was like-minded coming together, so that felt great. Yeah. So it was awesome to know when you came to Redeemer, and they were like, "Oh, this is Peterson." And I was like, "Oh, yeah,
I know him."
Absolutely. Okay, I'm in. So
awesome.
yeah, it was an awesome experience to like because I also had an opportunity to remember your name.
Yeah.
Gotta say it 5 times. I'm
Yeah,
telling
or
you.
5 times.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Luckily, like you won't know that many Petersons, so.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've ever met another one. Yeah,
So,
you're the first.
Not by first name.
not by first name,
No,
right?
no, that's true. That's true. So let me ask this. We know, okay, so you serve in the worship leader capacity here at Redeemer. And so if you're watching this, and if you've ever seen it online or you've been in person, you've seen this face, right? So we know that you serve in the worship ministry here at Redeemer. But let me ask this: How did you come to meet Jesus? What is your, I guess, like 30,000 foot view testimony, right? And what does it look like for you to walk with Him today, in the present?
Yeah. So before I met the Lord, I grew up in a single parent home. 6 brothers. In my house was Haiti. It was not the U.S. It was definitely Haiti. So you go to school, you speak English, you come home, you speak in Creole, especially with mom because mom doesn't speak English. So we definitely, like growing up, we got away with a lot of things because my mom didn't speak English. So yeah, I love my family, I love my brothers, but yeah, the home was definitely broken. You gotta like put in perspective. A single parent, a woman trying to raise 7 boys.
Yeah.
Trying to teach them how to be men in a country where she doesn't even speak the language.
Yeah, she needs sainthood.
So, like, yeah, that a lot went down. Yeah. She went through a lot. And her children, we didn't make all the best decisions. And some of us are still making some of the crazy decisions. But I think it all started when I was 14, 15. A neighbor of mine actually invited me to a church service. And I mean, I visited churches when I was young, especially in Haiti and stuff. They always called me the little pastor, but I didn't do anything. I wasn't like really like living for the Lord or knew Him. I just knew the traditional stuff because when you live in Haiti, you're either Catholic or you're in voodoo or you're a Christian. So that's all that really was. It wasn't, and even then there were the Catholics who were still doing voodoo. Yeah. So there's a lot of mix of that as well. Yeah. So I was invited to a church service. It was a bilingual church service. It was a Spanish service, and this guy who looked like me was there, and he is just like hype. He's hearing the music. It's in Spanish. He doesn't speak a lick of Spanish, and he is just getting in. He loves it. He's just worshiping, and turns out he was the Sunday school teacher for our group. So, and he just had he had so much joy. That's what it was. He was so happy to be there. He was so happy to be with the congregation. He was so happy to be teaching the students. And I was just like, yo, what's your deal? Like, why are you always so happy? And from there, he ministered to me, and he was just talked about how God changed his life around. And I was like, I want that. And that's where it happened. Wow. 14 years old.
14. Yeah. That's young. That's amazing. I love that. Again, God putting people in your path. Yeah. And you're going, wow, something's different about you. I love that. I love that. So, yeah, what does it look like to walk with Jesus now? Like in your average day for you?
Average day. Well, one, I'll say I'm not perfect.
None of us are.
None of us
I don't know
are.
if y'all know that.
Just so you guys know, I'm not waking up saying "Praise the Lord." I'm not
Your
doing
life's
that.
not a musical.
It's
You're
not
okay.
as much as I would love it
gosh.
to be that way. It's definitely not. You're not hearing birds singing as soon as the sun rises or anything like that.
Like a Disney princess.
Like a Disney,
Aw.
yeah.
See,
like
all my
that.
YouTube dreams are coming true.
So there are struggles, there are times where, I hit rock bottom or my back is against the wall and praise God that I haven't forgotten or walked away. And that's definitely Him keeping me in check, or also just putting people around me, right now I'm currently going through a couple of things right now, and the Lord has just been showing me how to to be dependent on Him. And I think that's where it is right now. Is that I'm growing in the sense that like God is stripping a lot of things away, where He says like I'm first, and it's not just that I'm first. I'm the only one.
Yes.
Yep.
So because it's so easy to say like I put God first, but there's that second, and it's like that means your heart is still divided.
Yeah.
And so God is putting me in a position where I need to be completely dependent on Him.
Yeah.
And He has put people in my path where He's saying, well, when you trust me, I can provide, and that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's so good. I love that. That's so good. Yeah. Okay. I don't have anything to say about that. It was beautiful. So why did you say yes to doing this podcast other than we forced you to do it?
Well,
say that to every guest.
I think it's I enjoy just the community, just doing life with you guys. That's a big part of it. But I also believe that we have a story beyond just us singing every Sunday.
Yeah.
And that we need to share. The people need to see the people behind the instruments.
Yeah.
So that they also understand that like we are going through things as well that they're going through, and I think this will build that community with the congregation. It's just like we're not separate. We're not like we're over here. God is good. We're telling you He's good. Now sing to Him, and then okay, have a good day. And it's like no, come, you're joining us, and I think this is a good
absolutely.
Like how I see it is when we're worship leaders, we're saying, come along with us as we go towards Him.
Yes.
And we're doing that, and we're going to do that. We're not only going to do that on standing at the altar. We're going to do that in everything that we do. And I think this podcast is an opportunity to do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. All right. One more funny or interesting thing about you before we get to the serious stuff.
Oh, that wasn't serious already?
And go. Oh, yeah, I know.
Let's see. One more funny.
Yeah. Or interesting. I don't know. Embarrassing. You could go there.
Okay.
Mitch shared something last week, and you all know this by now.
If you're listening to this one, you've heard that one. Yeah.
Nice.
The greatest thing. He used to play the tuba.
He sent me a photo.
We have a picture.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys have seen it.
Awesome.
If you've seen the first episode, you've seen it. But so,
awesome.
I don't know if you can top that. But.
I don't think I can. I will try my hardest.
Okay,
so I post when I'm not doing music. I am definitely a goofball, like I said before. So I'll post just like stories of real life stories, but I'll embellish it a little bit just to get a laugh.
Gotta give the people what they want.
So I guess a long time ago, I used to work with you met Chris, my friend Chris, my best friend.
Yeah.
His dad works with welding. And I actually was like a welding assistant with him. I did it for a little bit. And I was also 80 pounds heavier at the time.
Okay, look at you.
So, yeah,
Congrats.
I'm trying to be less Petey,
Less Petey, more God.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Well, my name is Peterson. Now it's Petey because I lost the S.
You lost the son part.
Yeah.
You lost an entire son.
An entire 80-pound son.
Good job.
So, what happened? So I was working on a magnet drill, and I was putting holes inside this beam. Okay. And everything's quiet. I'm the only one in the shop at the time, and I'm just drilling. Just minding my business and drilling. And I don't know, for some reason, my shirt got caught under the drill.
Oh no!
And it ripped it off completely. So I'm sitting in the middle of the shop, half naked, looking around like this. No one's gonna believe me. No one's gonna believe me. And then I'm walking out of the shop to go towards my car. Luckily, I had a second shirt.
Oh my goodness!
And my boss just looks at me, half naked, running across, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, I ripped my shirt.
It's like, this is a place of business.
Yeah. So basically, it turned it into a vest. Like, because it ripped it right off, so I could, if I put it back on, you just see a hole right down the middle.
What are you doing?
It's an exclusive, just making my own material.
Designer.
It's designer.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So.
All right. That's good, Mitch. I don't know. I think he beat you there.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure. And the only thing that would truly beat it is if you had a picture of it, because he provided a picture. But probably not.
I have a picture of the shirt. Probably. I just gotta go back and find it.
You'll have to bring
the
it
before or the
Sunday.
after of the shirt?
After. Definitely the after.
Oh, good. Okay, that was good. All right, so let's move into the next segment. It's called. We did this a little bit with Mitch last week. and it'll be a little shorter this time because,
Okay.
we covered it last week. Pretty much just kind of like unpacking the pod, why we're doing this, and we covered that a lot in episode 1. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But just the heart of what the podcast is, why we decided to do it, all the idea behind it and all that, and really kind of moving the needle on what we're calling this culture of worship, this worship that's already happening in heaven, is happening 24/7, 365, and we are just invited to join that, right? And then when God reestablishes His kingdom on earth, it's just going to be that forever, right? And so what does that look like in the already but not yet, while we're here and while we're in this process of sanctification, and we're like, we got to pay taxes. What does worship look like when we got to pay taxes? So, and so just like, I guess unpack for us what culture of worship means to you.
Oh man, that's a deep one. Culture of worship. What does that mean to me? So like, everyone always says, oh, worship is not about the music, it's a lifestyle, but they never really like go in a deeper level. It's like, okay, well, what's that lifestyle then? Like, what does that mean? Well, obviously, full obedience and 100% surrender. It has to start with that, because this worship is bigger than us. So one thing I always talk about when it comes to worship, how it starts with God, it's fueled by God, and at the end, God gets the glory. So God reveals Himself to us first. How do we know what to worship or who to worship if we didn't taste and see?
Yeah.
So God revealed Himself first. So that means right there, worship started with God. And then by the power of His Holy Spirit, we have the opportunity to respond.
Yeah.
So it is fueled by God. Yeah. And then at the end of that, as we're singing praises and pointing to Him, He's the one that's going to receive the glory. Yep. So it ends with God. We were lucky to be involved. Yeah. A lot of people say like, Jesus is my co-pilot, and a lot of people are like, oh, Jesus is my driver. Well, I'm lucky if I'm even in the car. So like, and once we get that mindset, I think that'll affect everything we do. Not just music, not just a Sunday service, but everything. How we serve others, how we communicate with others. When we understand that God is the one that is the engine, He is the one fueling it. He is the one that starts it, initiates it. He's the one that's placing people in our path to talk to. Like, He's doing it all. He's in control. And I think once we get out of that mindset that we had anything to do with it, then the culture of worship will match with what God wants us to do.
Yeah, that's so good. We Mitch preached last week. We're in Practicing the Way. Mr. John Mark Comer. We're in a series right now in Practicing the Way, and he talked about how God moves first. Like, He is the first mover. He is the when you're dating and you're being pursued, He is the pursuer, the ultimate pursuer. And so, I love that He moves first. There is no worship if there's nothing to worship. I love that. And like you said, that the key to this is when that happens, when He invites you to worship and you respond with your worship, it's like you said, not just on Sundays. We're not just singing. This is every day and every act and everything that we do. Yeah. So good. One thing that we didn't talk about last week, and I meant to, was just kind of the idea of ownership around this podcast. When the idea came up to do it, we swiftly, because God told me to, we swiftly brought it to church leadership, and we were like, listen, we think this is something that's supposed to be the church's and not ours. And, I really want to sing Disney princess songs with my daughter on YouTube, but that's not what this is. And very quickly, we realized what this was. And, just the idea around the full ownership of the worship team around this podcast. I guess talk us through, your thinking around that when it was brought up, and like, I guess how and why the whole worship team would own something like this, and what does that mean, and what does that look like?
Oh man. Well, one, it means that it's not everyone listening to Petey. It's like, it's so easy to put someone on a pedestal because of the position or the title that they have. And when it's something that we're doing as a group, as a team, and they can hear and see the entire heart of the team, even though we are so unified. Our group, we're so unified, and so we're as one. But we're also from different backgrounds. different diversities. You know, like we're so different, but we're so alike in so many ways. So it's it's I think it's important for the congregation to see the community that we have, and since we're all backing it up and we're all unified in that we're all on one accord, um, it just invites the church and because what we want to also do is change the culture altogether. So
Yep.
once the church gets involved, we we're gonna go beyond the walls. You know, I want to keep going. So like, in order for that to happen, we continue to be unified and grow together. And yeah, so it's been bigger than me. When you brought it up, I was like, yeah, this is beyond me, and I'm glad that it is because like I also get to grow and learn more about you guys. And just I haven't even been here a year yet.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel
Feels like longer, really.
like no, like yeah, started in February.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So like, and I've grown so much just with all of you, and so yeah, yeah, that's basically it. It's just the growth and the community that's happening here.
Love that. All right, so let's ask our 2% questions. These are the ones we ask every podcast, and of course, you know, every guest, their answers are going to be so interesting. So this part's fun for me.
Okay.
So, how did you discover your artistic talent, and at what point did you decide to use it for God?
So, I discovered it pretty early. Okay. Well, one, singing. I did practice singing or trying to sing way before I was 14, and that was only because of season 1 of American Idol. I'm just being honest.
There you go.
Love it.
We watched all
Kelly
those
Clarkson.
like goofy like singers that would mess up and do terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
those
was
are
the
my
best part.
favorite.
Yeah.
They
Those
were
are my favorite.
absolutely hilarious, and I just
People's
remember.
champ.
I just remember just trash talking them.
Oh yeah.
I was like, they're so bad. They're so bad. And I remember someone was like, well, you can't do any better. And I was like, watch me. And that's where it started.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I didn't do anything with it. I never auditioned for American Idol or anything like that. But I never saw myself like pursuing anything with the singing. I was like, oh, I can carry a tune. But that's as far as it went. When I was 14, I actually joined the marching band. A good friend of mine was like, why don't you come to band camp? Try it out. Yeah, I know.
Love the look.
So I learned, so for the summer before I started band, I went and learned saxophone.
Oh,
Really?
And
man.
yeah, alto sax was my very first instrument.
So you and Mitch could have a duo?
Could
Yeah.
possibly, yeah,
Fun.
absolutely.
Hey,
No-brainer.
the brass tax is growing its band members.
Don't call it that.
Especially because saxophone's a woodwind instrument, and you said brass tacks. And
Oh, whoops.
Well, yeah,
Go back to music theory.
Yeah. As you can
class.
tell, I'm more of a stringed instrument
Yeah,
guy than
that's
a
fair.
wind instrument.
and percussion,
So,
and percussion.
Yeah, and percussion. Yeah.
So yeah, started with alto sax, and
Cool.
then I started getting involved in the church and joined the choir.
Yeah.
Joined the choir. My younger brothers afterwards, they all joined the choir. They all joined the
cool.
marching band as well. And I still remember my first solo. It was my Jesus, I Love Thee.
Ooh. Okay.
I was terrified. Yeah. And then it just grew from there, and I was like, wait, okay, you're telling me I can love God, and then I can just take this newfound like joy for music, and you can put them together.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like seriously? My very first concert was Casting Crowns,
Oh, wow.
the live song tour.
Oh my god.
That was my first concert ever.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, first concert's a Christian concert, and they're singing for God. And I knew those songs already because we were already singing them in like youth group.
Yep.
So like, now you're going, oh wait, that's the band. I know these songs. Oh, what? So
What a great memory.
yeah. it was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. And yeah, that just sparked an entrance interest.
Both.
Since an entrance. Yeah, exactly. I just walked into the joy of music, and I've been singing and playing instruments. I needed to learn how to play the keys or something that I could do play and sing at the same time because I can't play sax and sing at the same time.
Yeah, no.
Hey, there's always got to be a
Won't work.
first. You can figure this out.
Yeah, spark an entrance
Yeah.
into that. So
We could somehow get Kenny G to give some kind of
Come on.
does he sing?
advice. No, but he does that circular breathing thing where like
That's true.
He'll hold a note for like he has the world record for the world's longest continuous note.
It's true.
That's true.
I've heard
Because
this.
he could do like circular breathing. So if he could do and I've listened to that and it sounds like a continuous note. It doesn't sound like he's like
Yeah.
you know. It doesn't sound like how I would play it.
Yeah.
Kenny, we have a spot for you.
Yeah. So
Give
he
us
could
one.
probably help us figure out how to sing and play it at the same
Sure.
time.
Gosh, that'd be so cool. I love that. And I just have to say, and I don't want to embarrass you on camera, but your voice is so good.
Oh wow.
By far.
Yeah.
Look who's talking.
So good. And
We're allowed to say it for you. So
and
Okay.
so
you're
anointed
great.
and so
Yeah,
anointed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I'm so glad that at 14 you told. I love how it came about from I'm gonna show you.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I just love that. So good. Okay, so what are your artistic inspirations, and what do you find truly beautiful?
Artistic inspirations, man. I listen to so much music, and when I'm not listening to music, I do draw.
Oh, cool.
I keep that very hidden.
Ooh,
But
not
I
anymore.
draw. I dabble with the pencil.
Okay.
But I listen to so many different genres because it just communicates differently. Sometimes you can get that emotion that you're trying to get from one person, even though they sing the same song, and something else completely comes out of it. So that's why I love the diversity that music has. So the expression of it, that's the biggest part for me. I can listen to one song that I've heard for years and I will still bawl like a baby into tears. just
It sends you to a specific, it imprints a memory for you.
Absolutely. I'll give an example. One song, it's by Matthew West. It's called Only Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first heard that song, I was 14.
Okay.
So this is right around the time that I am getting to know the Lord, and now this song comes in and says that there's only grace, there's only love, there's only mercy and believing. And for me, that was just like, okay, all right. So I will listen to that song to this day, and I can still, my eyes will still well up because it brings me back to that time.
Yeah.
So so the beauty, something that I find truly beautiful when it comes to like listening to music is just the emotion that can be invoked out of it, the memories, just all the connections. So it's not just tickling the ear, but it's also touching the heart.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I find truly beautiful when you can get that communication coming
So
from
good.
the heart of the artist.
Yeah, and I think sometimes worship, what we'll call, like, let's just say singing a song like on a Sunday morning, it kind of gets a bad rep sometimes because I think a lot of people think, oh, well, they're just trying to provide an experience and we're the smoke machines, and people are over that for good reason. They should be. It's not about that, but I think the idea of singing a song in worship, like you said earlier, that response back to God, our Creator, it can get a bad rep for it just being an emotional experience. I don't want that. I don't want just an emotional experience. Well, the truth is we are made by our Creator as image bearers. We bear His image on this earth. And so if we feel that stirring from a song, and it could be any song. I mean, I'm like, I have secular music that moves me to my core. And to know that exists in us, that this feeling can just well up and come out of us, and we respond to our Creator through it. I mean, I have goosebumps just even talking about it because we know that feeling. We know as vocalists that thing that just comes out of you. There's something about that there is a connection. There's a direct link from our human soul to our Creator in that moment. And it's not just an experiential moment. It's a connection, like a direct link to our Creator.
I don't even know how, I know a lot of people are saying, well, I don't want the emotional experience. I don't want the emotional experience. But how do you not have emotion in worship.
Yeah.
I'm not saying obviously like swing off a chandelier and run around or anything.
If you want
I'm
to.
not saying that as at all. But like, how do you with the intention to worship God? You're saying, "Well, Lord, I want to stand in your presence and sing songs to you and not feel anything."
Mm-hmm.
You are trying to sing a song to the Creator.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, well, he deserves worship. He deserves it. He deserves it. Yes, we know he does it. We know he deserves it. Do you want to worship?
Are you going to do it joyfully?
Yeah. Like how so like I know we're not trying to like the smoke in the mirrors, and we're not doing a show when it comes to worship, but I cannot see someone truly worshiping the Father without there being some kind of emotion present.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, and there's a fine line with it, because people always, especially people who come from like a Southern Baptist upbringing, like myself or like Mitch or Jamie and stuff like that. So we were taught to not let the emotions be the driving force behind your relationship with anything, really, because like feelings can be deceiving, right? And so that is true, 100% true. But there's like, it is a fine line, because at some point, like I think those feelings are there. God gave us those feelings so they could be used in a proper way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so like, we should be moved to, with compassion for people that need help, or we should be moved to like, joyful tears and things like that, just because, like all those things are supposed to kind of help us, kind of be bumpers in our emotions in a sense. We're supposed to be able to, smile when we're singing, like God delivered me.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be able to feel a sense of like, whenever David is singing about how like he feels like he's in a desert away from God and things like that, like that's not a discredited feeling. That's it, and that's in the Bible. So like that's somebody who worshiped through pain.
Yeah.
And there was emotion with that, and so it's a fine line. It is a fine line.
Agreed.
Yeah, and we'll talk, I think, a little bit about well, especially also as we open this up wider, I think, to the whole church community, just about what worship looks like for the folks that aren't on stage. For what does that look like for them? What does that feel like for them? That'll be coming in later seasons and later episodes.
Awesome.
Because and Andrew and I were talking about this one day in the car a couple weeks ago about like he and I will never know what it's like to not be musical, right? Everyone's musical. I think music is a gift from God. I think everybody's musical in that they like music, but not everybody, has like a musical gifting or a musical talent, or even if they do, maybe they're too nervous to use it, like in front of a bunch of people, which is totally understandable as well. But he and I will just never have that perspective of where we will look up at the people leading, because he and I are usually up there, right? So we don't have that perspective, and that's why it's so good for the community to come together and share all of our perspectives of what worship really looks like and what it means. And so, I think we'll talk about that in later episodes too, about where is the feeling, and how do you feel that connection? And we'll even get into things like the raising of the hands when you worship, and why do some people do that? You guys look so weird, and why are you dancing in here? And it's like, some of us just can't help it, But then there are other folks who are just as sincere in their response to God, who are standing there stone cold, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we'll talk through a lot of those perspectives and why they are. None of them are wrong. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. All right. So describe what being a part of this 2% means to you. Just do the hand thing.
Yeah, to me, it's just for me is just getting the word out there. Just the importance of worship, the importance of how to live that lifestyle, how to implement that worship in everything that you do. Because, and I'm not saying like it's anybody in this congregation or anything like that, but like Sunday is the only type of worship that people will have. That Sunday for that 1 hour block, and then right after that, they're not applying it to their lifestyle. And I'm not at all saying that it's anybody in the congregation. This is just churches in general.
Yeah.
This opportunity to say like, hey, this is more than just a 9 to 10 o'clock service. This is something that we live and we breathe, and we want you to be a part of it. We want you to join us. We want, So that's it. It's just, something that's just, it's more than just church. It's more than just a tradition. It's more than that. And I'm happy to be a part of it, and I want to spread that word.
Yeah, I love that. How do you keep yourself enmeshed with others in the 2%? And how do you see yourself challenging those around you to become a part of it?
Wow, that's a good one.
It's packed.
Well, for example, just our group. We have our group chats, and we're praying for each other. We update each other with things that we're going through, and asking for prayer for different things and stuff like that. That's 100% what that is keeping it enmeshed with that, because we're all trying to be a part of this. We all have the same goal, and in order to do that, we have to lift each other up and build each other up, and I think that's exactly what we're doing. I'm so blessed to be in that chat with everybody, and just like we can say something really serious and ask for a prayer request, and we can send a totally different thing, or it's a meme, or someone's laughing, or goofing off, or someone's cracking a dad joke, Randy.
Y'all wilding out in that thing sometimes.
And it's just, and that's what it is. It's just doing life with one another. And that's it for me. And how I want to do that, like taking that globally, is just going beyond, taking what we have as this community, and expanding it, and just taking it to everyone else. Yeah,
I love that. And you know a lot of people. We talked actually a couple weeks ago about, it's so funny that we both grew up in Tampa. I mean, you came a little bit later over from Haiti, but that we both grew up here, went to high school at rival high schools. Our football teams were rivals.
And Petey and I went to the same college.
Yes.
Separate. By the time I had agreed with the college that I should be leaving, it was right around the time when Petey was agreeing with the college that he should be entering.
Yep.
So, but we a lot of the same people that we knew, from the formative 20s of our lives, you know, are the same people, but we just never knew each other.
Yeah, we didn't know each other, and we found out we had one connection in common. So it's just so funny. It's such a small world, but even the people that even your friend Chris, who we met, he came and sat in one of our worship meetings, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's so, when you say that you are enmeshed in this 2%, and you're out there in the world, and you're with people that aren't necessarily Redeemer folks, I believe it. You're really out there, kind of moving the needle on this 2%. So I know that, and I see it. So I love that. How would you advise those listening that, necessarily they don't maybe feel like they're part of the 2%, or, they still maybe just don't subscribe to this whole culture of worship, and I don't know. How would you kind of propel them forward to no, come be a part of the 2%, and this is how we do it, and this is how we move the needle?
Well, the first thing I would say is, if they're listening, then there's curiosity. That there is some kind of interest, because they are listening to that podcast. So, keep listening, for sure. Yeah. Keep listening and learning from different people, from different perspectives and different backgrounds, and then from there, you're already a part of it. Yeah. You're already a part of it, because then you share it. You take what you learn, and you can't keep it to yourself. You're gonna want to share it with other people. You're gonna want to. And so you're already doing the work of the 2% when you're taking that, and you're like, well, you got to listen to this. You need to hear this. This new podcast that I heard, and all, so I would say curiosity. You're already curious because you're listening. So we just need to take it from there.
Yeah. Love that. All right. So we have a segment that we call Missing Child segment because we are, the Milk podcast.
The milk
And
podcast.
so the milk carton with the missing child. It's supposed to be cute. I hope that's not offensive to anyone. What do you think? And we asked Mitch this last week. And I loved his answer.
Oh man.
He said that the number one thing missing from worship today was just awe. Awe. Like we're so bogged down with life and these distractions and these things that kind of just are constantly around taking our attention away, that we've kind of lost the awe and the wonder of God.
And the transcendence.
Transcendence and being able to like go into this other spiritual place in your mind and in your soul where you're like literally awe-inspired by your Creator. And he said, and what's so funny is he juxtaposed this idea of transcendence with this other theology of the ordinary. Like you don't get to the awe-inspiring Creator without doing the daily things that you need to, like spending time with Him, getting into solitude, opening your Bible, prayer, meditation. Like these are things that are like, again, and it's like David commanded his heart to worship the Lord, and yes, again, you got to do it. So I thought that was beautiful, and he really nailed that. What do you think is missing?
Man, that's a good one.
Follow that up. No kidding.
Follow from the pastor. I would say what's missing is connection. I would say what's missing is Him. In the worship, in the sense that like we've forgotten our why. And it's like, do you not know who you're worshiping? Like, so he's not missing. He's present. He's ever present. But I think there's a lack of desire to reach out to Him. We're so, like you were saying, we're so bogged up with everyday life and everything that we're doing. We've forgotten that like He is first. Yeah. And that's a control issue. Maybe that's what we're missing. We're missing the opportunity to let go.
Just to abide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that like abiding to me was something that it took me forever to get to a point of understanding like, well, what does abide mean? Like I can't just go and sit and like not like I'm sitting at that point, I'm not abiding. Like I think that's something that I always struggled with, but now I crave. Now I got a better understanding of that, because it means like to abide in Him is to like fully embrace His presence, fully embrace what He's doing in your life, fully embrace the fact that you are doing nothing.
Yeah.
All like that is a very hard but simple thing.
Yeah.
Concept. And so I totally understand what you're saying, because that is very tough, because there's been even times where like I've come in to like worship rehearsal, or even after doing worship rehearsal, we come in on Sunday morning and we're like, I'll even tell my daughter on the way in, okay, let's not listen to Katy Perry on the way to church. Like let's listen to like John Reddick or something like that, something to kind of like help channel our thought process towards Him, you know. But then even like when I like kind of do that for my daughter, I'll get into worship rehearsal, or we're doing like sound check, and my mind goes off onto everything except for Him, you know. Yeah. And so like that's always been a very tough thing, even for us on the worship team, is like, when you're playing music, we're worshiping too with everyone else. We just happen to be strumming or singing along with something that amplifies the sound of it, Absolutely. And so I totally see where you're coming from with that.
I want to add one more, if I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not stealing from someone in the future when you ask me this question.
Hey, they're stealing from you, because you get dibs.
That's true.
All the ideas are yours.
I
would right now.
So I would say one thing that we're definitely missing is the understanding that this is a privilege.
Yeah.
Man, we get to do this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ooh.
Yep.
Like, we get to worship him. Like you have a God who transcends and he is above all things and he sits high on his throne, but he still dwells with his people.
Yeah.
Like
He parted the Red Sea and he still hangs out with us.
You know what I'm saying? Like he crazy thunderstorms and just like mountains and all this, and he still has lilies and
he made
flowers.
water come from rocks and
manna from heaven.
Yeah.
And he's still with us.
Yeah.
And he loves us.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and he knows us by name. He knows the hairs on our head.
Right.
And like
so
we
it's
don't
like,
even know those.
We get to worship him. We get to commune with him. We get to talk to him. Like, so the privilege.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the awe. It's so good. That's so good. I need no opinions from me. No notes. No notes.
Petey, I'll take note on how you answer things because if that's what it takes to get no opinions, I'm in.
Well, podcasts test marriages. No kidding.
Yeah. So there's going to be a new producer on the next one.
Yeah, man.
Andrew will
like,
be 6
fired.
feet under.
What happened? Gosh.
There's a life insurance policy claim. Yeah. No.
Missing child segment, Andrew.
Andrew's the new mission.
He's going to be on the box this week. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Okay, so we have a segment. Mitch kind of last week, he said he's not gifted. He has no artistic talent. And I was like, tuba.
Tuba.
But he said, well, I'll just give you guys a word and a challenge. And that was kind of his gift that he was going to share. But, on the podcast, we really want to have folks kind of end with their gift and their talent, the thing that they use probably most, most forward facing to the congregation, would be like their artistic talent, right? Either playing keys, singing a song, something like that. And in the future, we really hope to have even people that don't consider themselves like artistically or musically talented, but just come on and well, what is your act of worship? Like, how do you do that? And just kind of share what that might look like. So we're actually going to, in a second here, and you'll see, we're going to cut to one of Peterson's songs that he's got out. Is it now? Which one are you going to have us listen to? Do you think it will be from the studio album or one of the singles?
I'll do studio album.
Okay. Now, what's your album called?
Faithful God.
Faithful God.
Faithful God.
Okay.
Available on wherever you listen to music.
There you go.
Wherever you listen. So.
Yep. And and so you've got a YouTube link that we're gonna cut to, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna play that, and
we'll include the links to your album and stuff like that.
Yeah. Awesome.
In the details.
Shameless self-promotion here. We don't care.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're not promoting yourself. We're promoting you.
Yeah.
We got you. We got you.
Appreciate that.
But that absolutely had to be a labor of love, because you self-produced it, you wrote the music, right, and everything. So just all the work that went into that in an effort to give glory to God. I mean, I love that. I love that you're using your gifting and your anointing for Him and for His glory. I think that's beautiful. And what started out as like, oh, I'm as good as these people on American Idol, and now you're recording albums, for His glory. I think that's beautiful. So we'll cut to one of his songs you guys enjoy, and it play it in your car, play for your kids, learn it. And some of these songs, I think we did one of your originals,
yes, we did.
Actually in a service a few weeks ago. So we may see some of those some more on Sunday morning. So enjoy.
Lord, I come to you, cleanse this heart, make it new. I've made you smaller than the things in my life. I've sinned against my God and King, the ruler of everything, unfailing love. Oh, hear my cry,
heart, make it new. I've made you smaller than the things in my life. I've sinned against my God and King, the ruler of everything, unfailing love. Hear my cry. Oh, oh, God, have mercy on me. Oh, God, have mercy on me. Oh, God, have mercy on your people. Yeah, wash us white as snow. Oh, Lord, I have wandered off the path you laid. I've forgotten there was a price you paid. Wash me white as snow. Take away the stain. Please don't cast me out. Let your spirit stay. I have wandered off the path you laid. I've forgotten there was a price you paid. Wash me white as snow. Take away the stain. Don't cast me out. Let your spirit stay. Oh, God, have mercy have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Oh, God, have mercy on me.
All right, so this was episode 2, season 1 of the podcast. Our guest, Peterson Jean-Marie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was so good to talk to you, and to have the church body kind of know you a little bit better and connect with you. I said this on the episode last week. When we had our worship jam sesh at the house, and you guys were all there, and we ate together, we laughed together, we played music together. Some of it was secular.
Yep.
I'm sorry, not sorry. But it was just so much fun. It was just so much fun. We were there for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah,
like,
I can't wait to do it
We
again.
had a great time.
Yeah.
And the next day, I came to church. It was Sunday morning, and I wasn't on stage. I was just in the congregation, and I felt like I knew you guys better just from having those conversations the day before. And so it changes things when we know each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's the connection there.
Yeah.
And so, the response to God in our worship, there's something about doing it communally that adds a whole other layer of connection.
Yep.
It's just a beautiful thing to witness. So I hope that you guys feel like you know Peterson a little bit better now. Can't promise you he'll remember your name if he sees you. But we're very, very glad to have you, and thank you for doing it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So yeah, anywhere you guys get your podcast, check this out. We got a few more seasons or episodes to record for this season. We're gonna release them wholesale. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys will share wherever you get your podcast. Share it out. Share the YouTube links, and we'll have everything on the little video here when we do the editing. So thanks again. We are the 2%. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
With real life stories on display, gifts and talents in every way, building up a community. Have you had your 2% today?
What's up, 2% fam? My name is Emily Leatherman. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye!